So today I actually want to share with you how you can lift more pain-free and pick things up, thrive, and do that much better. Whether you're going to the gym, have a very physical job, or just trying to keep up with your kids, I want to teach you and share with you today. Hi, I'm Dr. Matt Bradbury, Family Corrective Chiropractor here in Georgetown, Ontario, Canada, and this is our Practice One Life Family Chiropractic. Today I'm actually going to share you some ideas on how you can help yourself learn how to lift better, the appropriate stretches and exercises to do so that you can lift more pain-free and really thrive and get more out of doing life. And remember, if you're watching this, make sure you're standing up, take your phone in your hand, bring it up just like this, and take your standing break. So what I'm going to do is share with you today a little bit of anatomy so you can understand your body that much better and learn how to move a little bit easier, because if you understand your anatomy a little more, some of these challenges you're going to be able to solve on your own. So remember that your midsection through here, you want it to be stiff when you move, especially when you're leaning over to pick things up, and you want your hips to be flexing, or what we call, when you lean over, your low back to be stiff and you to be doing most of your bending at your hips and your knees. And now remember, these discs, you want to keep your spine as straight as possible and want to limit the amount of what we call flexion, or doing this. And you don't want to irritate, you want to lessen the likelihood of irritating that disc. So what I'm going to teach you is how to move more through here. And many of the times, if we spent the whole day sitting, your hips, a lot of the times if we've been sitting, they get the range of motion from about here to here. So you're going to have to learn how to move, but also how to open up your hips a little bit more so you get some more range of motion, some more flexion in those hips so you can lean over a little easier and make your day easier so that your spine's not constantly flexing and you lessen the likelihood of irritating those discs. Now what I want to teach you is an ideal way to pick things up, because if you have a template, we're going to take that template and then what we're going to do is teach you some exercises and stretches on where you can help yourself. So I'm going to stand up tall, and when I'm standing here, my feet are about hip width apart, and what I'm actually going to do is just bring them a little bit wider, about an inch on each side, and I'm going to actually push my big toe down into the ground. So I'm going to push my big toe into the ground, and when I lean over, I'm actually going to shift my buttocks back so that I feel a whole bunch of tension through my buttocks and my hamstrings. And I shift back, I'm thinking about pressing my big toe in the ground, opening my knees up, and leaning over like this. Now you can see how it's important to bend at the knees, but also at the hips, and have that great hip hinge where you come back, create all that tension through here, and I don't want you just to slouch over, I want you to keep your shoulder blades engaged a bit. So you keep those upper back muscles tight, and you're leaning over so that you feel you're breaking at the hip first, bending your knees, big toe pressing the ground, and then going to pick something up. Now, as you have to go lower, you may have to bend your knees more, but this whole time I'm thinking about shifting my buttocks back and opening my knees up when I lean over to pick something up. Now, in order to get into that better lifting position, if you just want to play better with your kids, keep up better with them, if you have a very physical job, if you want to go to the gym, these all apply in terms of what you can do to help warm up. Now, I would start with 2 sets of 5 to 6 reps of just the basic bird dog. And what you're going to do is be on all fours, kick your leg out, and really focus on not letting your hips sway side to side. These are very basic exercises, but something that's simple that you can do that is invaluable in terms of helping to activate the small muscles that you're going to need when you're leaning over to help protect your spine and your back. So just like this, I'm here, and I'm going to kick out straight and resist the urge to shift side to side. Now I'm going to do all one side, and really I'm holding onto the edge of the table, kicking out straight and resisting that inclination you may have to shift side to side. I'll do 5 to 6 reps on one side, and then 5 to 6 reps on the other side. Now, the second exercise that I use that really helps just get some global motion in your spine and get used to flexion, extension, especially if you're going to go pick up something or you're going to have a very physical day, is just what's called the cat camel. Just like this. And with this, I'll do 8 to 12 reps. just going through a global range of motion with your spine. Now, another very important thing that I mentioned was getting some more range of motion in your hips. And oftentimes, if we only go from sitting to standing, you may not have those end ranges. So what I'm going to do is teach you how to find some of those end ranges. And what I would start with is just bringing your leg up on the edge of the table or soft surface like a couch. And what you're going to do is just lean over like this. Where I lean, press in, breathe. I'm going to feel some stretch in my glutes. But I'm also working on the end range or the extreme range of motion for opening up the knees, pressing the big toe down, and hip hinging over to pick something up. So I'll work on this side for 60 seconds to 2 minutes, keeping my spine erect and tall. And then I'll switch and work on the other side as well. Now, a really great one to find some hip extension is just right here with my leg on the seat of the bench. I'm going to lean forward. And what I do when I lean forward is I'm going to bring my arms up just like this. And I'm pausing and breathing. And I'm going to feel all those tissues in the front of my hip, my quad, probably some tension there. 1 to 2 minutes you're holding it. And if you want to push yourself a little more, use the back of a couch or the back of a chair to bring the top of your foot higher up. So I'll show you just like this. So bring your heel to your buttocks, and you're going to feel even more of a stretch down in the front of your hip and your quadricep muscles. Learning to use that upper back, what you're going to do is just bring your thumbs up, and I want you to turn your palms up towards the camera, and I want you to press back and count to 5. Trying to keep your shoulder blades down. Don't let your shoulder blades hike up. And you're going to do 3 of those, counting to 5, pushing back against the wall. And that's going to help teach you how to use your upper back muscles and get that feeling of engagement when you go to lean over for your hip hinge. So now that you've warmed up, and remember, even if you're doing very physical work, you still want to give yourself some cues for the day. And how you do that is with the bird dog, the cat camel, and literally just practicing your hip hinge. And from the side, I'll show you what that looks like. So we're back in position for the hip hinge. I'm thinking about pushing my big toe down, feet slightly outside of my hip width. And the first thing I think about is breaking out my hips and sending my buttocks back. And you can practice it a few times. Tension through here, keeping the shoulders engaged, and going from there. Now as we wrap up, there's a couple key things to remember. We shared with you how to hip hinge properly. Engage your hips, breaking at the hip crease first, sending your buttocks back when you go to pick things up, engaging your shoulder blades a bit. And remember, you want to remain stiff and tight through the midsection and be bending more at your hips versus bending at your spine. So consider how to move, and much of what you do day to day are the things where you have to move as efficiently as possible. Otherwise, they may catch up with you. And if you start to compensate, you may break down. And if you get to the point where you dysfunction long enough, you may get to the point where you have pain or discomfort, and your body's telling you you got to do something different. So consider that when you're trying to lift more pain-free, more optimally. Consider all those tools. Also, as a family corrective chiropractor, consider the health of your spine and your nervous system. Oftentimes, if you're through here, if you may be noticing something through here, there's compensation in areas where you may have no idea about. And that's exactly why we test above and below and the whole spine and nervous system to see how you're functioning. Because oftentimes, maybe you have discomfort here, but you compensate above and below, and this whole system has to work at its best for you to thrive and be at your best and heal that much better. So consider the health of your spine and nervous system. And as always, as we sign off, remember, I got a big mission in terms of helping people understand their health better, that they have to have great spine and nervous system health, and as well they have to function better to have more health. And I can simply not do it alone. So if you take a moment, I really appreciate it. Click share, send this video to your feed, or directly grab the URL and send it off to somebody who you know may benefit. I truly appreciate your help in sharing the message. Hope you're having a wonderful day out there, and I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.